Hello everyone and welcome to another very beautiful chess game by Paul Morphy. And in this chess game, Paul Morphy is playing with the white pieces and his opponent is a player with no name. There are lots of unknown players in the era of Paul Morphy. So this game was played in 1858 in New Orleans, the hometown of Paul Morphy. And Paul Morphy starts the game with playing e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, Italian opening, bishop to c5, b4, Evans Gambit, accepted, c3, bishop to a5, d4, e takes on d4. And after this move, Paul Morphy castled, d takes on c3, bishop to a3. And in this position, Paul Morphy is 3 pawns down. What an aggressive opening by Paul Morphy. Or we should say, what an epic opening by Paul Morphy. So bishop to a3, preventing black to castle in the king side. d6, simply blocking the bishop. Queen to b3, knight to h6, and finally Paul Morphy captures the pawn. Knight takes on c3, bishop takes knight, queen takes bishop. So after this move, black castled, rook from a to d1, knight to g4, h3, attacking the knight, knight to g5, knight takes knight, knight takes knight. If pawn takes knight, of course, rook takes queen. Bishop to e2, saving the bishop, f5. And after this move, Paul Morphy played f4, attacking the knight, knight to c6, and then bishop to c4. Check. King to h8, bishop to b2. Well, Paul Morphy is threatening checkmate. Queen to g7. So defending with the queen, queen to e7, rook from d to e1, lining the rook with the queen, rook to f6, and after this move, Paul Morphy captures the pawn and attacking the queen with the rook. So queen to f8, saving the queen. And this is the key moment of the game. And Paul Morphy played an amazing move, a very beautiful move. He only played the most accurate move in this position. So can you find that move? What would you do in this position? Which move is the most accurate move in this position? Try to guess the move. So I will give you a couple of seconds. Let's say 5 seconds. So did you guess the move? Well, Paul Morphy played rook to e8. What a move by Paul Morphy. Sacrificing the rook and pinning the queen, attacking the queen. So what else? Black, of course, captures the rook. Queen takes on e8. And then Paul Morphy played queen takes rook on f6. This is amazing. Well, Paul Morphy is sacrificing the queen. But black didn't capture the queen, and black played queen to e7 desperately. Well, of course, this is also a very important key move by Paul Morphy. So queen takes on f6. And in this position, the question arises, what would happen if pawn takes queen? If g takes on f6, then bishop takes on f6, and the king goes to nowhere, of course. This is checkmate. And what an incredible checkmate. Look at this position. So this is why black played queen to e7, and Paul Morphy didn't capture the queen, and he played queen takes on g7. Queen takes queen. This is the only move. Well, Paul Morphy didn't capture the queen with the bishop. He played f6. Unbelievable. And in this position, black played queen takes on g2. A very desperate move. And if saving the queen, queen to f8, then f7, that's check. And in this position, there are very few defense for the king. So let's say queen to g7, defending with the queen. Then f-pawn promoted to a queen. And what an incredible checkmate. The queen is pinned. This is checkmate, if defending with the queen. So the most resisting move is knight to e5, then f takes on e5. And there is no defense. King to g7 is the most logical move. e6, king to h6, e7. So queen takes on e7, f-pawn promoted to a queen. Queen takes queen, rook takes queen. And the next move is going to be bishop to e6. So the bishop is pinned. If moving the bishop, rook takes rook. This is all over for black. So as you can see, there is no defense for black. That's why the player with no name captures the pawn with the queen. King takes on g2. And again Paul Morphy is threatening to play f7. So black desperately played bishop takes on h3. And these moves are the most desperate moves that you can ever see in a chess game, that you almost feel sorry for the player who is playing with the black pieces. So bishop takes on h3 and Paul Morphy captures the bishop. King takes on h3. h5. Paul Morphy played rook to g1 and black resigned. So this is the last position of this magnificent, unbelievable game by Paul Morphy. What a magnificent, elegant chess game. So let me show you the possible continuation, and everything is losing for black. So a6, then rook to g5. So rook to g5 is a killer move. d5, rook takes on h5. King to g8. Bishop takes on d5. King to f8, rook to h8. Checkmate. So after rook to g1 by Paul Morphy, black resigned. And another very instructive chess game by Paul Morphy from 1858, New Orleans. And I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. And I hope to see you next time. Take care.